Hey guys, welcome to Boxing Squad for boxing news and views from around the internet. Seems we have something a little more tangible to talk about in respect of a Deontay Wilder and Tyson Fury rematch, with BoxingScene.com reporting the rematch will be headed to the Barclays Centre either April 27th or May 18th. And the month of April or May and those specific dates, that's not necessarily new, but the Barclays Centre stuff is. And the first fight, that was at the Staples Center in Los Angeles, approximately 325,000 buys for that first pay-per-view for Deontay Wilder, and first for Tyson Fury in the United States. And these guys, they're going to have to get the deal done pretty soon, because otherwise it will go to a purse bid. And Deontay Wilder, and I'll just go to here to Michael Benson, who quoted Wilder as telling media, this is a day or two ago now, the rematch will be announced real soon as they're currently finalising the minor details. And the minor details could be the date and the venue, or perhaps the splits, we don't know. But the rematch apparently set to go to the Barclays Centre. Boxing Scene reporting, multiple sources informed Boxing Scene that a deal to bring the immediate heavyweight championship rematch between Wilder and Fury to the Brooklyn venue is nearing completion. MGM Grand Garden Arena is the other site under consideration among organisers of that Showtime pay-per-view event, but a deal to announce Barclays Centre as the venue for Wilder Fury 2 is expected within the next couple of weeks. The Wilder rematch will be scheduled for either April 27 or May 18. And then it goes on to talk about when the pay-per-view could potentially be with those dates, and it mentions the Terence Crawford-Amir Khan fight, which is on April the 20th. So May 18th, that would give a few weeks apart from that other pay-per-view event, and as the story speculates here, could lead to better buys. But the main news here, so it could be Barclays Centre. And I did wonder the other day when I saw Deontay Wilder on his Twitter. He posted from the Barclays Centre. He was there for the Adam Kanelski and Gerald Washington and Keith Thurman card. And he said, "Thank you, Barclays Centre, for showing this country boy so much love over the years. It's always an epic moment when I fight there, and more to come." And when I saw that, I did wonder, is that a signal that it is going to be the Barclays Centre? And with this news that it likely is going to be the Barclays Centre, well, this post makes a bit more sense now. So he said hashtag Bomb Squad, hashtag Brooklyn Love. And Deontay Wilder and Brooklyn with the Barclays Centre, it's almost been his second home, especially in his championship reign. So he's fought most of his championship fights at the Barclays Centre. So this is a bit of welcome news, because we've kind of been in a bit of a flux type period where there's a lot of stuff being said but not much happening, and there's a bit of churn and reheating and recycling of comments and other statements, not just for Wilder and Fury but for Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua, and I'll get to them shortly as well, because there's a couple of things I want to touch on and just mark. It does sound like a deal is getting close now, and the purse bid is February the 5th. So if there is no purse bid, we can assume that they have reached an agreement, but they'll probably announce the details of the fight, at some point after February the 5th. And all the indications are in the next couple of weeks it will be announced. And the other guy in the equation here is Tyson Fury. So Tyson Fury on social media, Frank Warren's official Instagram. I haven't been blocked from this from Frank Warren on Instagram yet, just on Twitter. He's had a photo shoot for GQ. And I saw this and I thought Tyson Fury is looking in decent condition, and he will need to be, because many are expecting this is going to be another tough fight the second time around, and to beat Deontay Wilder, he's deeper into his comeback, and if he's in slightly better condition, he's more primed and ready for 12 rounds of action, that he could take it, the WBC belt from Deontay Wilder. And I think he looks in better condition than he did for the December 1st fight against Wilder. So yeah, Tyson Fury in good condition. That's heartening to see this far out from the fight, which by the sounds of it will be in about 2 or 2.5 months or so. But in respect of Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua, Gerald, these are the other characters that have been mentioned, connected with each other. You know, Wilder and Fury, Joshua, who's going to be fighting who? And Anthony Joshua was looking for a fight too. Long been speculated that if it wasn't Deontay Wilder and if it wasn't Tyson Fury, if they were having a rematch, that it would be Dillian Whyte. And before the weekend, we did hear that Anthony Joshua and Dillian Whyte were set to, in the following days, meet with Eddie Hearn, their promoter, talk about what was what. And Dillian Whyte, this post here, this was from a day or so ago, next fight announcement coming real soon. Can't wait to get in the ring. It's been so long. Hashtag Team Body Snatcher, hashtag next fight. And Whyte here wearing his WBC belt, his silver title. We'll have to see where he goes now, because he's been on the media recent days and weeks saying that it's far apart with Anthony Joshua, that he believes Joshua is going to be fighting Miller. He sort of said that as recently as a few days ago. So even though he's been given an increased and an improved offer from Anthony Joshua, reportedly somewhere $4 million or north, £4 million north of there, who knows whether that fight will be made. I just wonder if this is Dillian Whyte really turning the screws on the negotiating front, because without Dillian Whyte, Anthony Joshua may be forced to give up that Wembley date. And Dillian Whyte will know this, so he will be turning the screws as hard as possible to wring out any more money. And there is some sentiment, especially among hardcore Joshua fans, that Whyte should take what he's given, take the fight, because he can have his chance at glory. It's a heavyweight title fight. That does sort of neglect the fact that these guys are prize fighters. It's their livelihood, it's their career. In boxing, even though, it's meant to be about the glory, it's not always about the glory. It's prize fighting after all. And boxing is a business disguised as a sport. We have to remember this. So Dillian Whyte's trying to do right by Dillian Whyte. But certainly there is some merit and some credit in the argument that where can he get the same or similar sort of money against anyone else right now if it's not Joshua, Wilder or Fury. Speculation that potentially, is a deal done with Dominic Breazeale. Breazeale has been open to that fight. He's stated that before. There's been talk of that. And if Wilder and Fury do rematch, and that's looking increasingly likely, details to be announced soon according to Wilder, well, they're going to have to deal with Breazeale. And Dillian Whyte, if he isn't fighting Joshua, he could fight Dominic Breazeale, and that could be for an interim title. So he will know that, and if they can bring that to the UK, that's probably going to be a pay-per-view event. Dominic Breazeale and Dillian Whyte both get paid well. Probably not as much as a Joshua fight, but I'm sure they would get paid well. But who will Joshua fight? I still think it's going to be Dillian Whyte. I'm just not convinced that, he's going to let that opportunity go. But there has been some speculation that, Miller is more in the frame now. That Joshua will have to give up the Wembley date, that it'll be June 1st at Madison Square Garden. That's been talked about for a while as a backup option if Wembley doesn't work. And that's not necessarily new, but what here from Mike Coppinger is that a formal offer has been made to Gerald Big Baby Miller, but both sides sit several $1 million apart. And I'm sure they do, because Gerald Miller will know that Anthony Joshua is working his way down the list. We've had Wilder, Fury, Whyte, and if those deals don't get made, then he is effectively the next cab off the rank, because they've been talking about this for a while with a US debut and Miller being the opponent. So he will know he's got some leverage here, and he's probably not just going to, for what could be a once-in-a-lifetime opportunity. There's no guarantees Miller wins this. There's no guarantees that he's in a fight like this that's as big again, that he will want to get as much money as possible. So I'm sure he's going for the jugular here. But Gerald Miller and Anthony Joshua sit several $1 million apart. And it starts to beg the question, if they are sitting that far apart, and let's play worst case scenario here, what ends up happening next if Miller's not on the table, Whyte's not on the table, Fury and Wilder are out of the picture as well? Where does he go to next, Anthony Joshua? It's a question. And I guess you could sort of bring forward the Kubrat Pulev mandatory, but Pulev himself would still want a decent time to prepare. He's not going to be locked into fighting at April 13th at Wembley. I'm sure he wouldn't agree to that deal. But also, is the Alexander Usyk the outside possibility of facing Joshua next? That's still on the table, but it's seeming remote, with Usyk wanting to have some warm-up fights at heavyweight first, potentially starting his journey at heavyweight in the US in May. That's what his promoter Alexander Krasjuk has been saying. So if everyone keeps playing hardball, Anthony Joshua may be left without a dance partner. And let's face it, it's all about money, and it's always about money. Even though people say pride, glory, fight for the belts, all that sort of stuff, everyone wants their piece of the cake, including Joshua, who doesn't want to give too much away. And that's sort of the rub here. One side wants more, the other doesn't want to give more. No deal, no fight. And you could be left in a situation, no date. So we'll have to see where it all goes. But Dillian Whyte is saying fight news coming soon. Apparently, Gerald and Anthony Joshua, formal offer, poles apart. And we have Wilder Fury rematch likely for the Barclays Centre, April 27th or May 18th. What do you make of it all? Drop a comment, loud and often. Hit like, hit subscribe, follow me on Twitter, boxing_squared. I'm out.